This is Delgar the Casual Gamer bringing my very first World of Warcraft video. The other night I streamed on Twitch, the very first time that my very small, very casual raiding guild attempted Highmaul, and we downed the first boss, Kargath. So what I thought I would do is I thought I would put together a little video showing you how you can defeat Kargath even if you're a fail tank like myself. So sit back, relax, and enjoy raiding Highmaul for Dummies. There's basically only one trash pull before Kargath in Highmaul. This trash pull is a very simple pull. It involves Volgor, who you may remember if you did the Ring of Trials in Nagrand. He's the guy who sort of mocks you at the very end and says, "Ha ha ha, we'll meet again in Highmaul!" And yeah, you do, and you're going to kick his ass. You beat him up and a couple of sorcerers. It's really simple. You just burn them down, and then you get to face Kargath. Overall, the Kargath fight is fairly simple as long as you master a few mechanics. The beginning of the fight is really simple, so go balls to the wall on your DPS, pop your heroism, pop your bloodlust, and just DPS them down as much as you can at this point. All that's going to happen at the very beginning of the fight is Kargath is going to impale the main tank. After the main tank gets impaled, and during this time, the tank is going to take a lot of damage. So the healers have to heal the tank a lot at this point, and the tank can also pop some of his cooldowns to sort of mitigate this damage. After the impale, Kargath is going to target one of the ranged players. Now, this is probably going to be some hunter that he's going to, perform some sort of shower prison scene on. The hunter probably deserved it. And that ranged player then basically has to get behind one of the flaming pillars that are going to pop up. If you look at the arena, you can see there are 4 skulls prior to the Kargath fight starting. Once the fight has started, 2 of those pillars will raise and there'll be a ring of fire around it. You need to be on the other side of that ring of fire from Kargath. He'll come towards you and you won't feel his e-peen. That's really the only mechanics that you have to worry about for the very initial phase of the Kargath fight. What'll happen is Kargath will impale the main tank, the healers will heal the tank, Kargath will target a DPS, he'll go after the DPS, hopefully the DPS gets around one of those pillars, he'll stop going after that DPS, and then it just goes back to reset. And then you just keep damaging him, and then he's going to impale the main tank again. At this point, what you want is your off tank, once the impale is over, to taunt Kargath so that he's on the off tank. So then after he throws the main tank down, Kargath will come after the off tank and basically come at him, and therefore then the main tank doesn't have to worry about taking some additional damage. But then what happens is Kargath, he's kind of angry, right? Because all the time while he's impaling the main tank, you're taunting him and telling him how small his peen is. Because, let's face it, it's pretty tiny. So he's mad, so he stomps and he flies everybody back. And then at this point, the main tank, 3 DPS that have very good AoE damage, and 1 healer will rush back up to the tank. And at this point, Kargath will grab them, wing them around, and flip them into the stands. And I'll talk about what their task is in a minute, but I'm going to finish off what happens now. Once those 5 people have been chosen and thrown up into the stands, the off tank will have to re-pick up aggro and just tank them like normal. And it just continues, you just have less people down below and a bunch of people up top. What's going to happen to the off tank is the exact same thing that happened to the main tank, is Kargath's going to impale. Well, actually what happens is Kargath will target a ranged after he flings, then he'll end up impaling the tank, target a range, impale the tank, and it's just going to rinse, lather, and repeat. See how the whole shower scene comes all together here? Okay, so the guys up in the stands, their job is to basically clear out as many of the spectators as they can. The way that we did this is we sort of split it by sides. If you look at one of the sides on there, there's a blue square, and on the other side is green panties. Yes, it's panties. It's not a triangle. It's green panties. The main tank we gave the panties, and I had the blue square. So when the main tank is up in the stand with his healer and 3 DPS, his goal was to clear that side of spectators. If you don't clear a bunch of the spectators, what they do is they throw stuff down on you, basically doing damage to the entire raid, making your healer's job more difficult. And then when the off tank gets flung up, he'll clear the other side. Now, if you can clear more than your one side because you're like super awesome, then do it. The more that you kill up there, the better off overall your raid will be. All that takes place in this basic boss is the main tank can take only 2 impales. If he takes any more, he has a debuff on him, he's gonna die. You're gonna need a tank up in the stands, you're gonna need a healer up in the stands, and you're going to need 3 DPSers up there who have really good AoE damage because you want to be able to AoE down as many of those mobs up there as possible. And that's really... Oh, I forgot about the range because who cares about hunters? And your ranged DPS, they have to get out of the way and get behind one of those flaming pillars. The easiest way for the ranged DPS to do this is to constantly be standing near one of these pillars. The 2 pillars that are active are going to change over time, so just constantly be aware and stay as close to one of those pillars as you can so that when you're targeted by Kargath that you can get behind there and not cost your raid the victory. I hope that you guys found that this guide was helpful. The Kargath boss is fairly simple, and I just sort of wanted to lay it out in as simple of manner as I could. And if me, as a fail tank, can complete this raid, then pretty much anyone can, as long as you just follow the mechanics. Like any fight in WoW, you just have to follow the mechanics. It's just that as you progress in the raids, bosses get harder, the mechanics get harder, and one screw up usually causes you a wipe. So even if you don't get it on the first try, just keep going, you'll knock them down, you'll kill Kargath, you'll get some loot, it'll be great. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, it really helps me out, it'll help my channel grow. And if you actually enjoyed this series, let me know, and I will continue on as we continue to progress in the Highmaul Raid. We are not, a top-tier raiding guild by any stretch of the imagination, so hopefully we make our way through it at our pace, and hopefully, other casual raiders out there will find this video useful. So, until next time, Delgar out.